Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. HVK all day, let's get it, man. Alright guys, so in today's video it's going to be a story time, so get your popcorn ready. In this one I want to talk about my experience going on a solo trip to Las Vegas and what I experienced, what happened, and yeah man, let's get into it. So you guys are probably wondering, like, why did I go out there for? I know Las Vegas is kind of like low vibrational, right? There's a lot of like people go out there to get drunk and just like smoke, and just there's like lust everywhere, and it's very artificial, man. It's like an artificial city. It's just like a lot of Jezebels and all this like worldly stuff, right? I didn't go out there to do any of that, guys. So last year I was gonna go out there with a friend, but we ended up not going. And I was like already hyped up to go because I was planning on going skydiving, ziplining, and bungee jumping off this building called the Stratosphere, or the Strat, where you basically, it's not really a bungee jump, but you kind of jump off of it, right? And you're like attached to these things. But I wanted to do all these things, man. I ended up not going. And so a year later, almost a year later, I just started like randomly thinking about that. And that friend that I was gonna go with, I no longer talk to him, and I'm not planning on ever going back. So with that, I still had that urge to like get those things off my bucket list. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I never went to go do that, it just kind of it just started, like, it just came to the surface. All of a sudden I just started thinking about going out there, man. And when you're on retention, you have all this energy building up. You will manifest things like twice or three times as fast, man. Like, if you think of something, you will accomplish it, man. The power of your thoughts is like insane. Like, whatever you put your mind to, man, you could accomplish it. So that's what I was doing, man. Last week I was just debating, like, man, like, I feel like I need to go on this trip. It's like something that I felt like I needed to do. Like I said, I didn't care about going out there to party or just gamble or any of those worldly things, man. I just wanted to complete like a mission, man. It felt like I was going there to like, what do you call it, man? It's like unfinished business, right? That's what it felt like. So what happened, man, is like I ended up buying everything all at once. My hotel, my skydiving jump, everything, the jump to the stratosphere, all these things, man. I bought it all at once, and just like that, man, I was just, the next day I was gonna go. And for the last week I was just like binge watching like all these Vegas videos, just trying to like trying to figure out like where to stay at and all this stuff, man. It was just like overwhelming, right? It was just like all my energy was going to that. So I just felt like, man, I need to get this out of the way, because I didn't really want to go, just because Vegas is kind of like I said, it's just like, I don't know, it's just, I don't really like big cities like that too much. But like I said, I just wanted to go out there to do what I had to do, man. Cross those things off my bucket list. And yeah, so what ended up happening, man, is the next day I woke up at like 6 in the morning, and I was hyped up, man. I already had everything planned out, and had all my clothes, and I packed my own food, packed my own water, all these things, man. I just had it out by myself. And you know I was gonna go over there with a friend, like somebody else, but I ended up not going with them, and I'm glad I didn't, because this trip was like very fun. Like, just going by myself, man. Like, I just had a awesome time, you know. So I started heading out on the road, and it was like a 4 or 3.5 hour drive to my first destination. The first thing I was gonna do was go skydiving. All right, so that was the first thing. And when I was driving over there, like, it was just so peaceful, man. Like, it just, I don't know how to explain it, man. It was just like so relaxing, just driving and just seeing like the scenery on the way over there. The drive over there, like, I was enjoying every second of it. It wasn't like a drag, like, oh, I have to drive this many hours. I was actually enjoying the drive over there, okay? I was just vibing, man, listening to some good music, just chilling. And yeah, so my first destination was this skydiving place. And so I pulled up, I parked there, and I was gonna jump at 12. So yeah, man, I went skydiving, and it was just like, it was insane, man. This is my fourth time skydiving, but every time I go to a different location. So I wanted to go to this one, and it was awesome, man. It was just like, man, I recorded everything too, by the way. I'll put it in a different video, but basically, guys, like we went up 15,000 feet, and when they open the door, it's just so insane. When you're like this, man. You're like sitting on the edge of a plane, and then you just go forward, and then you just drop, man, and you just go like 120 miles an hour, free falling, for like a minute straight. And it's just such a intense feeling, just being on the edge of a plane with the door open and just falling down. It's insane, man. And like when the parachute opened, it was just like this calmness, it was just so peaceful. And at the same time, it was just like being up there that high, like you just see like the highway above you, and it just looks like a little line. And you see all these like big trucks, and they just look like little toys. Man, I was like speechless, and because at the same time I was looking at the whole like scenery around me, like all the mountains, and like it just looks so unreal. It was like almost hypnotizing, being up that high, just like dangling from like 5,000 feet, you know? It was so peaceful, man, and it was just like, like I said, man, I was speechless, bro. Like I couldn't even talk, man. My instructor, cause you jump with a person, right? And he was just like, "You doing alright?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just like mind blown right now." And like I told you, man, like I've gone skydiving 3 times before that, but this fourth time it was just very memorable. I don't know if it's because being on SR, having this type of energy, or just how everything looks more HD, like more enhanced. That might have had something to do with it. The fact that I'm not like desensitized to like certain things anymore. Just overall healthy like brain, right? It just felt like incredible, man. And I was like completely sober, all those things. During the whole trip, I was completely sober, man. Sober free 2023. Let's get it, man. All right, so next thing I did after the skydiving is I headed into the city. It was like 30 or 40 minutes away. And yeah, man, it was just my next stop was just to my hotel. So I parked and I went into my hotel, and it was really nice, man. I stayed in downtown Las Vegas by Fremont Street. And yeah, man, like the first thing I did was just like put all my stuff like in the hotel room, and then from there I went to the swimming pool. And it was really nice, man. It wasn't like I wasn't expecting it to be like how it was, but it was really cool. After I did that, I just walked around like Fremont Street, just like vibing to the music. They have this big ass like like this big ass screen like all under like the street. I don't know how to explain it, man, but it's just like a long ass screen, and they play like trippy things on there, And it's so stimulating, man. As soon as I got out of my hotel and I went to go like walk around and like explore, there's just so much stimulation. There's just so much going on, man. Like you walk into a hotel or a casino, because a lot of them are combined together. It's just like slot machines and just like all this noise, all these lights, all this music, and it's just very stimulating, right? So it was a trip, man. It felt like I was like in a movie or like a video game. Like it was just me in a whole nother state, just like exploring, right? And I was just about to do like, and my journey had just started right there, right? I just got done skydiving. I went to go swim after, and then after that, like I went to walk around, Fremont, and just walked around and stuff. And obviously like the Jezebels were out there, but I just stayed focused, man. I was on a mission. I didn't pay attention to that, but my next stop was going to the Strat. So I was gonna jump around 8, okay, and it was 7:30, and it was like 30 minutes away. But I was like, damn, a 30-minute walk. But I ended up getting an Uber. There was a Tesla just parked on the street, and I asked him, I was like, "Oh, are you an Uber?" And he was, but he was trying to charge me like $20. And I was like, it's a 9 minute drive, so I brought it down to 10 and he agreed. So I was making my way to the Strat in the Tesla, which was the first time ever being in one. And I don't like it, man. I mean, they look cool, but on the inside they look like toys, man. Like they just look so weird. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I made my way over there to the Strat, and I just went up to the top part, and I was just like everywhere I was going, man. I was just like making conversations with people, man. Like I was just vibing. Everything was just felt so like natural, right? I wasn't forcing anything. I was just vibing, hyped up, and I was just like making like conversations with just a bunch of strangers, man. I didn't feel like anxious or nothing. So when I was up there, the guy that I was talking to, he ended up like chickening out. He didn't jump, but I ended up jumping, and it was just like it was crazy. Like for some reason, that made me more nervous than the skydiving, because with the bungee jump off the building, there's just more anticipation, man. The skydiving is kind of more. It feels like it's more quick, right? But the bungee jumping, they put this thing on you, and it's just like it takes a lot longer preparation. So it's just like that anticipation before you actually jump, and so you're just standing like on the edge of a building, like 1,000 feet high, and I ended up jumping. I recorded that too, and that was a good experience as well. Afterwards, I went back up to the building, just to hang out, because you could just look over the view of the whole city. They have like two other rides up there that you could go on. It's one that like goes over the edge like this. It looks like the ride is about to like go off the edge, but it comes back. Just look up the Strat rides Las Vegas, and you know what I'm talking about, man. I went on that, and other rides that were up there. It was a tower one that just went straight up. Not like that. It went straight up and then down. So that was my next thing that I did. And actually, while I was up there, some guy walked up to me. He didn't say a word. Well, he did, but he just came up to me like without saying anything. He had his phone in his hand, and he's just like, "Here, record." He's like, "I'm about to propose." So some dude gave me his phone, and I just started like, well, it was already recording, but he just proposed right there, and I just happened to be the one that was filming. Like he just chose me to like film, and there was like other people around. But that was just like a mind blown right there as well. And I forgot to mention earlier, when I was swimming, there was this baby there, right, that was swimming in the pool with their parents, and I saw another baby swimming in there as well. And it was weird. It was like a glitch in the matrix or something, because both of the babies were wearing the exact same outfit and looked exactly the same. And I asked one of them, I was like, "Oh, did you guys come together?" And they're like, "No." And they were like totally strangers, but the, both families had a baby that looked exactly the same, that was wearing the exact same clothes, that was swimming in the pool. And it was just like a trip, man. It was just like weird. Like it was just one of those glitches in the matrix type of moment. So that was earlier when I was at the pool. But going back to the Stratosphere, I did all that, man. I just, after I jumped, I just chilled up there for a while, and so I made my way back down. I think it was like 10 or 11, something like that, man. I started heading back, and I was like 30 minutes away. And for some reason, I don't know how I walked out like the wrong exit of the building. So it wasn't the front of it. So I was just like walking down like this dark ass like road, like all sketchy, but I wasn't like paranoid. I didn't feel like nervous, I felt confident like in myself when I was out there like in the city. Like I didn't feel, on retention, man, you have fearless energy. Like you don't care, man. Like I was just walking with my head up, back straight, very observant and vigilant. And I was like walking in like this, like the hood, in like this sketchy area. But I ended up like catching the bus. Like all of a sudden, like this bus came out of nowhere, and I just crossed the street and I hopped on. And it was like this, it was all packed and stuff. There were just people in there. And it was just like a 9 minute drive back to downtown. Man, and when I got off, I went back to my hotel and just kind of chilled a little bit, and went back out to Fremont, and made my way up to the ziplining ride. which is like this. It's two different types of zip lines. One that where you could just like go like this, or one that's even higher that you go on your stomach like Superman. So I did the Superman one, and I don't know. I don't remember how high it was, but it was at least like a couple stories up, man. It was really high. I filmed that as well, but I was just like making friends everywhere I was going, man. Every person that I was in line with, I was just talking to them. Like, it was just a long ass line as well, man. It was just like a whole hour or more, you know. And I had to pee so bad at the very end. Like, I just had to pee so bad. That was like after I went on the ride, like I peed for like a whole minute straight. you know, I was waiting that long in the line, which was annoying. But that was around like 12, but the ride it didn't actually start. Like I didn't actually go down the zip line until like 1. So yeah, that was annoying, but it was cool, man. Like you just go on your stomach and there, like I said, the screen is like above you, and then you just see like all the people walking under you, and it's a trip, man. It's a trip. And like so after that happened, I just walked a little bit more and just like walked around. And at this point, man, like I hadn't been eating anything. Like I didn't buy anything. Like I said, I just brought my own food. But I was still kind of hungry, but I didn't really feel like buying anything. But I was just like walking around. And towards the very end, like like the whole experience up until then, like up until it was like 1 or like 2 o'clock, that's when I was just like, all right, I'm like over it now, because after I did all those things, after I completed my bucket list, right? After I went skydiving and just swimming and jumped off the Stratosphere and went ziplining, all those things, now I was just like walking around. But like I said, man, when it's like Vegas is like filled with like a lot of like low vibrational people, so everybody was just like smoking weed and just drinking, and there's just like these Jezebels like walking the streets. And I just felt like weird. And I started like not seeing things that I didn't really like. It was just like a lot of homeless people. And then yeah, just like a lot of like fuckery going on, you know what I'm saying? Just like a lot of like chaos, pretty much. Like a lot of excuse me, a lot of noise, a lot of commotion. And it's a trip, man. Like those cities, those cities that are like that, man, it's just like they drain you very quick, man. Like I said, there's like a lot of stimulation, so you just feel like a rat, like in the maze, just like going, like your attention span just going all over the place. So like I said, I was just sober, I was vigilant, and I ended up going back to my hotel. I was just like, screw all those people, man. Like you can't be in the crowd, man. Like if if you're an introvert, you can't be around people for too long like that, man. Especially like in certain settings, it doesn't sit with your spirit. Like you'd rather do things like more natural, like more organic things. Like I don't care about like the gambling or all these things, man. Like all this entertainment. I mean, there was some cool things out there as well. At one point I was recording this person. He was like playing the drums. It was like a group of people like playing the drums, and like this random chick was just like, she started like throwing herself out to me like that. I was like, what the heck? I think she was like with her boyfriend, but she was just like almost like twerking on me. I was like, oh shit. But I wasn't phased, man. I was just like very stoic. I was just very stoic, and I was just like, what the heck? But you know other than that, man, like my whole experience was like pretty good. Like I went back to my hotel. It was like at 2 in the morning when I finally crashed. So I'd been up since like 6. Went on a whole journey. Drove out there for 4 hours. Went skydiving. Went swimming. Got a Uber to the Stratosphere. Jumped off the building. Went on the rides. Came back. Walked in the hood. Took a bus. Came back, zip lined like 100, like pretty high up. And then at the very end, I was just like, oh, there was also a gym in there too, which was funny because while everybody was outside, you know, doing all this nonsense, I was just like working out in the hotel. You know, I posted a video on my shorts about that, but yeah, I was just working out. And then afterwards, I just headed back, and then I think I like took a shower, and I just went to sleep, man, like at 2 in the morning. And you know, the next day, I just woke up, went to the pool a little bit, and then headed back home. And it was like another 4 hour drive, but the whole experience, man, it was just very like, it was just like unbelievable. It just felt like a dream, like it didn't even happen, man. But like as soon as I got back home, I was just like, it was just like a relief, man. It was just like I had a good time. But like I said, man, Vegas is one of those cities that are kind of like very artificial, man. It's just like, I don't know, if you're someone that's like on your purpose, if you're like someone that's very spiritual minded, things of this world don't really phase you anymore like how they might used to. Like all that partying, all that lust shit, all those things aren't good for you, man. Like if you know about SR, if you're on this journey, if you're trying to do good things, Vegas can be like, you know, not really good for you like spiritually, because it drains you very quick. But I just went out there to complete my mission, you know, and the whole drive out there was very relaxing, and I did so much in a short period of time. And you know, it was really awesome, man. Like I just, another thing that I want to tell you guys is like, don't wait for people to do things, man. If you want to do something, don't be afraid to do it by yourself. Don't be afraid to go places by yourself. Obviously, like be, you know, plan things out. Don't be like careless. Look out for yourself. But if you always wait for somebody to do something, you will never get anything done, man. And like I said, I was supposed to go with somebody, and then recently or last week, I asked somebody if they wanted to go because they've been skydiving as well. So I just asked them, but they were just like, "Oh, I had to get back to you on that." So I was just like, "Man, screw that. I'm gonna go by myself," you know. And I'm glad I did, you know. And it was just like a very memorable experience. I'll make a separate video on like everything I saw out there and just like basically like my whole trip. But in this one, I just want to talk about like what I experienced and all these things, man. So yeah, man, don't be afraid to do things on your own. You gotta love your own company. You gotta like explore, man. Be adventurous, right? Don't be too stagnant in life. And yeah, man, like I was telling you, man, for some reason I had like this urge to go over there. Like I felt like I needed to get this out of the way because I don't know, it was just like something that I had to do. Like on retention, you will like surprise yourself. Like sometimes when you think of something, it's not gonna go away until like you accomplish it, man. Like if you want to go on a hike, you'll go on a hike. If you want to go do something, you'll get it done, man. You'll put your mind to it because you have a lot of mental energy, so you could manifest things a lot quicker. All right. So up until right now, I still can't believe that I went, man. It's just a trip. It's like the first time. Another thing I forgot to mention, man. This is the first time I've driven my car like more than 2 hours. You know, I think the farthest I've driven my car was like to the beach. It's like an hour and a half or something. But this was like in a whole nother state, man. It was like 4 hours away, and this was also the first time ever like getting a hotel. Cause I've been in hotels before, but like it was like other people like booked through it, or just I went with somebody else. But this was the first time me doing everything like all by myself. You know, booking a hotel, driving to another state. You know, doing all these things, man, like all by myself. But I just enjoyed like every second of it, man. I mean, at least for the most part, man. It was like it was a really good trip, and it feels like unreal, man. It's just speechless. I'm just speechless about it. It's how I feel. So I just want to talk about that real quick, guys. I know it was a little ramble video, but I'm just like excited. I'm just like hyped up. I'll post another video of like what I saw and things like that. But yeah, I think that's about it, man. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.